Are we live? I think we're live. I'm not entirely too sure. Let me have a look. YouTube says we are receiving content. You are live. Awesome. Welcome everybody. Okay, let's hope that I've done this right the second time around because YouTube are changing all of their streaming options, so... Hang on, are we... Let's go ultra low latency. Have I chosen that? Yes, I did. Does not support 4K resolution. Oh, that's okay. Welcome everybody to DigiByte State of the Nation, State of the DigiByte blockchain, whatever. We're going to talk about what's been going on, what's happening at the moment, where we're headed, and we're just going to cover off all things DigiByte. So before we do that, let me quickly, I'm just going to go and grab this link because I don't actually know if I grabbed the right one earlier, being the clever person that I am. Clever. I think I did. So from the looks of it, YouTube have gone and changed a bunch of their stuff, and it makes life really interesting when you're trying to basically reuse your same stream key. So let me bring this one up here. Let's see. Let me bring this one up. Hey, it worked. Woohoo! Okay. So we're good. The link that I posted worked. Yes. Yes. I'll also give a real quick shout out to those who haven't seen it. Down behind me over there, we've got the DigiByte Lite. I've actually got the window kind of open at the moment, so you can see a bunch coming in and out and things like that, and I think it's really cool. I like it. There's also a motherboard behind me, a couple of graphics cards, and I'm supposed to be fixing up a computer at the moment, actually for our church. We showed up on Sunday morning, ready to have our service, and the computer was dead. I thought I fixed it on Monday, took it in earlier today, went to reinstall it, plugged it in, dead again, so Joe was not happy. Anyway, what we should do, let's quickly bring up a few bits and pieces here really quickly on the screen that you can't actually yet see, so maybe I should bring my stream thing forward, so let's, if I bring this up, bring this forward on my desk here, okay. And I should be able to hit the magic button. Boom. There we go. DigiByte. Alright. So, welcome to everybody who's made it into the chat. Let's have a quick look here. Let's see. If I bring this open, then it will actually be helpful. Like, oh no, I don't want the new streaming stuff, YouTube. Go away. I can see we got a few people in the chat here. Welcome. Slick Warrior 88. DigiByte to the moon. Hail the Messiah. That's right. I still laugh every time I see that, right? So I can, like, on a day-to-day basis, I actually forget that I've even got that as my name on Twitter. And the funny thing was is my mom saw it for the first time like 2 or 3 weeks ago whenever we did our video, and she lost it. She's like, "Are you that, like, full of yourself, son? Like, what the hell?" I said, no. I said, to be honest, this was actually somebody poking fun at me back in the day, basically saying, "You think you're some kind of messiah." I said, no, not at all, but to be fair, it's got a nice ring to it, so it kind of stuck, and here we are today, so... shout out to Wilkie. I hope that you end up making this, because you've been messaging me in the comments and things of the videos, asking for a live stream, and this was not planned at all, so I really hope that you can make it, and if not, it'll be up for later on viewing and things. So, where are we at with actually? So, really quickly, I'm just going to... Having given up all alcohol already, we're doing Dry July, which is kind of interesting. 3 days in here. We do that most of the time in New Zealand. A lot of Kiwis will do that. They will do Dry July and go completely alcohol-free. That's what I'm doing. So, no beersies with today's live stream, which is a bit of a bummer, but yeah, well... I'll live. Can I pop the chat out? I can. How do we pop it out? There we go. Pop out chat. Oh, that's going to be so much better. DGB best coins, 300% up for 2 months. Yeah, that's... I mean, hey, if you got yourself some DigiByte and you're up 300%, good for you, right? So we'll start taking some questions and things. As it rolls in, I'll try and actually bounce off the chat and back and forth with where we are at. Actually, let's start off with this. So Adam's asked, any news about Vesti? Really good question. as far as I was aware, the last time I heard, there was a whole lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. To be honest, I don't actually know where it is at the moment, but I do know that now is probably not the right time, especially with all of the fun and games that America's having to do with COVID-19 and things, to be launching any kind of new and revolutionary way to rent out a house or buy and sell, all of that kind of fun stuff. I mean, now's probably not the right time for that. Now is probably a better time for encrypted communications or permissionless money, that kind of thing. But who knows? I genuinely don't have any further news, unfortunately. Same for somebody was actually asking about Block 30 Labs. As far as I'm aware, they are still around. They've been quietly working away, very quietly. I don't know how big their team is currently either, but as far as I was aware, they are still around. What I should do is just minimize some of this stuff as well. Where else are we? Who else? BitFi as well. I've been asked about them because they up and disappeared off of Twitter for like 2 months, which was very unlike them. They are also still around, also huge supporters of DigiByte. Big fans of the project and everything that we are about, so that's still pretty cool as well. Let's move that mic just a smidge. There we go. Okay, and finally, no link here either. Little dude didn't want to come upstairs for a video. He was wanting to take a nap, so he's sitting downstairs on top of his cage, sleeping right now. It is what it is. He's his own person a lot of the time, so... what I will do really quickly, let's start going through some of these things and catching people up on what's been happening and where we're at. So DigiByte. Let's actually bring that up because I feel like I'm going to need to do it like this. Otherwise that stupid screen's going to come up. Here we go, okay. DigiByte.io. So you can actually see here if we go to DigiByte Core, there's been a bunch of activity. Website, when did we actually launch that? That was pretty recent, I think. Like in February, if memory serves me right. Will this tell me? Yesterday, 8 days ago. Ah, yeah, okay, 7 months, 4 months. Yeah, okay, so it was about 4 months ago because we updated the Git Ignore. 4 months ago, or just under, we went live with it. So in 4 months, we now have all of these different translations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, 35 different languages. That is so cool. That is super awesome to see. It's been tweaked a lot. There's been a lot going on with it. We've even got things now like this info paper, which again, also, we released... When was this? Like 2 months ago, maybe? Yeah, 2 months ago. Yeah, so big shout out to especially Nigel and Demi for all their help there. I need to go and mute Slack because otherwise that's gonna... How do you turn off notifications on Slack? I know, I can just close the page. Big thank you to Nigel and Demi, back to this, for all their help with creating this and sprucing it up and things, because I basically went to them and I said, here is black text on a white page and it looks like ass. Please help make it look nice. And they did, and it's cool, and I love it. So we have an info paper now. We have a website that is 35 different languages. I think that's freaking awesome. This is the website. Let's close that. We don't need to keep that open. What else have we got? Okay, so other things that we've been working on in the past. What's some other things? Okay, DigiByte Wallet. So we've got iOS. DigiAssets have come out for that. And we are still in beta at the moment. It is still in test flight. I think that they've got everything sorted. I know that Nigel and Yoshi have been working pretty hard with that behind the scenes in terms of... Is it just me, or has Nigel been mentioned? So Nigel was involved with Murad and the website. Nigel was involved with Demi in helping with the info paper. Nigel's been helping Yoshi with the iOS wallet. Poor dude, when does he sleep? I don't know. But so DigiByte Wallet iOS here. This is the iOS app, which do have it here. Actually, we'll bring it up and see if there is anything on test flight. There is, the update. That came out 8 days ago, which I haven't actually checked yet. Because I'm slack, and I'm sorry. So 8 days ago they released the fix, I think, which we can see there. Yeah. Let's leave it updating. I use an Android for my daily stuff. But yeah, so DigiAssets is there, and there are a couple of bugs that are basically being fine-tuned. I think they've got to the bottom of it. Again, we've got all of the code here, which is really cool. What else have we been doing recently? Docker image, which we've created, so you can easily spin up a full DigiByte node. So we've got two different images. First of all, we've got DigiByte Docker and then DigiByte Docker source. So this is DigiByte Docker. The idea being you want a quick and easy way to get a node going. Rather than copying and pasting a bunch of commands, this will do it all for you. It keeps it nice and containerized. There's nothing more for you to do. You literally you could copy and paste those 4 lines and you're done, which is pretty cool. And it makes life easier for network administrators that are, for example, running wallets and things like that, exchanges, or third-party wallet providers that want to integrate with DigiByte, all that kind of thing. Or, in addition to this, we also have DigiByte Docker source. So this will actually build the entire thing from source code for you, so you're not relying on our pre-built binaries. Both of these are going to be easy to update in the future when we bring out DigiByte Core 8.19. And we'll keep going through what else have we accomplished recently. DigiFax, that was awesome. I loved that. Far out, was that only May the 6th? That was great fun publishing all of those. Earlier this year we had the updates to the Inside API. We made it look pretty, fixed a couple bugs there, DigiAsset stuff. Yeah. Where are we at with Go Wallet? So at the moment, this DigiByte server status, the Go wallet is still problematic, partly because it's using a server that Jared was running. And unfortunately, I don't have access to it. Not that I really want it anyway, but whatever. We did a bit of work to try and make it more reliable and build out the infrastructure. Unfortunately, we never got fully cut over to it, and so there was a couple of minor aspects which were still using the old stuff, and that's apparently where the problem still lies. So I have messaged Jared and asked him if we can reboot the server or kick it or make it work again, and we'll see where we go with the Go wallet. There are ways around it, actually, so what I can do is let's bring up DGB Wiki for those who are curious. We have the wiki, which is always being updated in things, so we can go common support queries. Cool, so one of them in here is how do I move funds out of a stuck wallet? Now, this is not just specifically related to DigiByte Go. You can import your DigiByte Go wallet into Coinomi. You can sweep your funds into a new wallet. We've got details about the support channel and how to get help and things like that. So, what is that? I don't know why they put that in there. Anyway, launch DigiByte wallet and it's complete. Okay. There are ways around it with DigiByte wallet. Go wallet, sorry. So, let's go back to here. Actually, we've got the pipeline. We've been putting things into the pipeline. So for those who are not familiar with the DigiByte pipeline, Adam's asking, any news about Vesti? Yeah, rewind it. Answered that before. The pipeline is basically a bunch of things that we are wanting to accomplish. So this is a really great way for people to go and check out where we are at. Go and have a look, see what things are being worked on. Dividends for DigiAssets. You can go and you can see, is it being worked on? Yes. So if I click on this, it's going to take me through to a separate page here. Private arrangement between me and SIP32 for it. It's being worked on by him. DigiAssets needs an easy way to pay dividends for users. This will be an independent website that is being open sourced as well as being hosted. Users should be able to enter in an asset ID for a DigiAsset, enter an amount of DigiByte to be distributed, say 10 DigiByte, and then based on the percentage of the total supply that an address holds, they'll get the same portion of the DigiByte being distributed. So let's say there are 10 DigiAssets. I hold 5 of them. Script Skynet holds 3 of them, and Laura Taylor holds 2 of them. If we are then distributing 10 DigiAssets, I'll get 5, Script Skynet will get 3, Laura will get 2, kind of thing, that sort of stuff. So that's basically what this website is. It's actually, can we bring it up? No, it's not currently active. Damn, it would have been cool to show that off. It's coming though. I should actually follow up with him about that and find out specifically where we're at. I think actually last time he messaged me like a week ago and basically said it was almost ready and he needed me to check over some of like the phrasing and wording, but I think that's pretty much done, which is cool. So other things that we've been working on here, videos for the website, Murat, he's wanting some more videos. This is cool. Alex has started some videos. Actually, speaking of which, Alex was doing some videos earlier. Has he published that one yet? Let's have a quick look. I don't think so. No, he has not. That's okay. Stay tuned because we're doing some more videos. Alex, incredibly talented, and he's published one recently talking about what DigiByte is. This next one's going to be about wallets and helping people to pick and choose a wallet and what works for them, that sort of thing. So it's a really cool video that basically summarizes the differences, why you'd want to go one way, why you'd want to go another, and looking forward to that really shortly. How are we there in the live stream chat? Yeah, we're cool. Okay. What else have we got? Okay, now for the really cool stuff. What is being worked on here? Emerging Schnorr signatures. So again, this is all part of the pipeline, and you can go here, and I'm kind of summarizing it a little bit and explaining other things a little bit more in depth. And this is basically so that you can know in future as well where you can go to check this stuff out. So let's go and have a look at Schnorr signatures here. So Schnorr signatures sounds boring as hell. Going to be really cool for DigiByte in a number of ways because it's going to improve our privacy. Not so much in the same kind of way that you have with Monero, but it's going to improve things a bunch in other ways. So it's kind of like a happy medium because we're still going to be a public blockchain where you can still go and view all of the transactions and that kind of thing. But it's not going all the way like with zero-knowledge snarks and things like that. Schnorr signatures are also going to be more optimized, so it's going to improve everything on the blockchain in terms of like our storage. So at the moment, we currently can do 40 times Bitcoin, basically just because we're 40 times faster. If we implement this and Bitcoin does not, then we're going to be an additional ballpark 15%. So that would take us up to about 46 times the capacity of Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. This isn't going to affect the block timing, still going to be 15 seconds, just like Dandelion, doesn't affect that, that's cool as well. Yeah. So anyway, this is being undertaken at the moment by, did I put it down there? Yeah, Akshay's taken it on. He's already kind of halfway through it. He's committed a few things. He's helped us finish off some of the things for 8.19 and get that ready, which is really cool as well. That sounds like my flatmate taking off on his motorbike. It's a nice ginger ale. How far off is this? I'm not entirely too sure. Unfortunately, Akshay is also one of the head developers for the Ghost coin as well. So he's in pretty high demand at the moment. But it is underway. I think he's looking to do more on this next week. I don't know if it will be finalized by next week, but this will basically include everything that is currently pending with Bitcoin at the moment in terms of the draft BIP for it. So Samana said faster, more powerful, safer. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I'm actually really excited about Schnorr signatures though, because So quick clarification for people, because they often, there's a lot of misconception about Mimblewimble and Schnorr signatures. So Mimblewimble is not about privacy whatsoever. Originally, because it was using UTXOs as opposed to addresses and things, there was theory that it was going to be more private. That has been proven to be not the case. And you can trace things with, like, I think it's like 95% certainty or something along those lines. Mimblewimble is about fungibility. This basically means that all coins are equal. So, let's take these two coins that I've got here. Both say DigiByte on them. Both are different though, because one of them is blue and one of them is gold. And this is probably the best way to explain fungibility. Fungibility is the idea that both of these are the same caliber. They are indistinguishable. They can't be told apart in any way, shape, or form. Now, the reason that you would want this is for money. That way you don't have tainted coins, for example, that have been washed by like a mafia boss. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that's what fungibility is about. The idea that all coins are 100% identical. It doesn't matter if they were found in the Cryptopia hack. They're still identical to all the other coins. Now, the reason that you would want this is so that, let's say, I send some DigiByte to an exchange, do some trading. The exchange then sends it back to me, but they don't send me the original ones. Instead, they send me some other coins that were originally from Cryptopia and the hack, and those coins are tainted. Now, other exchanges might then say, well, we don't actually want you to be using those because they were involved in a hack, and this particular other exchange is blacklisting them. Theoretically, that is possible. So that's what fungibility is about, and that's what Mimblewimble aims to solve. Everything is still transparent. The values and how much you've got and all of that kind of thing. It's all still on there. And in fact, they're not even specifically implementing Dandelion. That's an option at the moment as far as like the likes of Litecoin are talking about. So Mimblewimble is not about privacy. Schnorr signatures is also not directly about privacy, but some of the improvements that it brings does improve your privacy. So for example, you can't tell a 2 of 3 multi-sig. So again, let's go back to Laura Taylor, Script Skynet, and I. We've all got a wallet that we've all pulled our funds into for whatever reason. Maybe we're fundraising for a video to be made or something, right? When we then go and sign the transaction to send it and send funds from that wallet, it requires 2 of the 3 of us. Now, as far as the rest of the blockchain is concerned at the moment, they can tell that 2 out of 3 people have signed, and they can tell which 2 out of 3 people have signed. With Schnorr signatures, it all looks identical. You can even do a whole bunch of other things with Schnorr signatures where you could have one giant overarching signature if all of the transactions were made using Schnorr and things, which again can further compress the block size and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff too. Yeah, so again, Schnorr is not like 100% privacy focused, but it is going to streamline certain things, and there are definitely a lot of genuine privacy benefits. So, nice little clarification there. John has said there was a bullish video by someone saying burning assets is going to be really advantageous for DigiByte. Burning assets? I mean, if you're going to burn an asset, you're going to basically make a transaction, which is going to consume some DigiByte. It's going to use up a little bit. The idea being, like, let's say it works out that you can do 1,000 earns for 1 DigiByte. I mean, that's still, you can get yourself 1 DigiByte then and be okay and be fine, and it'll last you for however long. Like, I don't know how many assets people are planning on burning, but it is going to make a transaction. Actually, let's bring up DigiStats. Oh, I love me some DigiStats. Where is my DigiStats? So, we've actually been asked a bunch about like exchange listings and things as well. Speaking of recent things, we've been listed on exchanges. We've had a lot contact us. Binance listed DigiByte. Shit, who would have thought? Coinbase have started to investigate DigiByte. Who would have thought? I love it. I think it's great. So, these are the number of transactions that we can see in here. I mean, there's some decent volume. It's not amazing volume, but with DigiAssets, when they burn, that's also going to make a transaction, which is again going to further increase the volume there. We're eventually going to get a little bit of like a fee market happening, because transactions at the moment are too low, for sure. The cost is way too low. It needs to be higher. I don't think it should be $50 per transaction. That's ridiculous. But it's going to even out over the next couple of years for sure. So I'm really looking forward to that. For those who are curious, digistats.digibyteservers.io. Let me bring that up because I'll pop that in the chat. So that's in the chat now. If you want to go and check it out, you can actually go in and dial in and have a look at these. This is really quite cool. Let's go and have a look at the scheme, and we'll go view. But let's change this from the last 24 hours. Let's go back and look at the last 30 days. And so you can get a bit of an idea of it. So this is 60-minute average, which is probably a bit better to look at, like averaging things out rather than the every single block up and down. Because you can see the difficulty. Okay, so if we look at this difficulty, we're at... Can I get it up there? No. Mouse isn't quite accurate enough. Damn it. It's over 30 million. Okay. And then it comes all the way down here. So we're literally like 6xing. 5. Yeah, 5. So what are we down here? 4, 4.6. We get down at 3.5. So we're almost going 10x, and that's the 6th of the 6th. So 10x in one day. Like that kind of variation. 10 times. So this is exactly what DigiShield, but more specifically multi-shield, looks after. So DigiShield was originally just for one algorithm. Multi-shield is the same, but like dialed to 11 to take care of 5 different algorithms, which we have, which we can go back and see here. So it averages out the difficulty of all of them, which is really, really, really cool. What's some other cool stuff that we've... Okay. Pull BTC Core 0.19. Yes, this is also being worked on. This has currently been worked on by... Akshay's working on it. Yoshi's been doing a few bits and pieces as well. Was previously worked on by Jared and by Gary. And it's compiling, and basically at the moment it's the same as what we have, but with the newer version of like the Bitcoin changes and things like that. I think with this we're actually finally making BIC32 our default as well. Let me bring up a quick little article. Where are we? I made one about BIC32. Yes, here we go. Back in March. Oh my goodness. Okay. The importance of BIC32. Basically, addresses start with number 1. Yeah, here we go. In 8.19, we're looking to make this the default. And I think they have an 8.19 with Bitcoin Core as well. I should check that. I haven't actually downloaded Bitcoin in ages. While we're here, though, is there anything else that's recent? No. Oh, miner decentralization. That was really cool. I absolutely loved this. How cool was that picture, though? So, 16 hours. That's the mining distribution for DigiByte. I mean, 12.5%. It could be better. It could be worse. Well, clearly it could be worse. It could be better, though, still. But look at that for 16 hours worth of mining distribution. That's pretty rad. I love it. Let's go back. Let's kill some of these things. Back to the pipeline. Here we go. So Bitcoin Core, that's mostly done, to be honest. That's mostly done. So what we're waiting for now is these other things. So Schnorr signatures. I think we want to make... If BIC32 isn't, then we want it to be default, and ProgPoW is what we're also working on. Let's go and have a look at there. Has it been worked on? Yes. It's become incredibly clear that the community is eager to bring back GPU mining. Can we actually... Let's put a pitchfork in the chat just for shits and giggles. Oliver asked, geographically, where is most DigiByte mined? It's actually incredibly distributed. We do have a lot in China. We do, funnily enough, actually have a bunch in Europe, though, as well. Like, a lot. A lot comes from Europe. And I really don't know why. A combination of the older Baikal miners and things like that. And... So, as far as I'm aware, we get a lot of AutoCrypt from China. Obviously, Black Miner, because they've made the most powerful FPGAs for it. We have the qubit and skein algorithms, and I think a lot of those are actually mined both out of Russia and broader Europe. And I don't know why, but like they just are. There's a bunch of both SHA-256 and scrypt that is mined out of the USA, which is interesting. But both of those are also slightly more broader and diverse in their distributions. Anyway, so ProgPoW. Yeah, implementation of ProgPoW. We talk about it. We've raised the amount. Where are we at? Unfortunately, so she's had a string of bad health issues, and I really feel for her. I do. Like, the poor woman has been through the absolute fucking ringer when it comes to that kind of thing. Aside from the fact that, so I think, was it in 2018? She had cancer. She's had a cyst removed earlier on, which she put about on Twitter. So she's okay about this being discussed because, I mean, she's published it all on Twitter and things. And that wiped her out. Unfortunately, she got COVID-19, wiped her out. She got worse. She got slightly better, got worse, had the cyst removed. Like, poor thing, man. Like, so, yeah. We are halfway there with it. Like, she's been doing a bunch, but it is definitely not finished at this point. She was hoping to have some commits to us, but that was right before she had to go in for her operation. And yeah, so she's on the mend at the moment. And I messaged her on the regular, and I've said to her, look, you've got to put your health first. Like, DigiByte's gonna be here again still in a week's time, in a month's time, and you know, like, it's not worth stressing yourself out and getting yourself even worse and sick, and then you regret it. Nobody wants that. Yes, like, we are all super freaking excited for this. Like, I'm really excited. I loved GPU mining. I've had to sell all my GPUs except for the one that you can see on the bench back. Actually, can you see it? It's under the monitor. I'm really excited for it because then I can mine from home on just like my home GPU, but you know, that's not a big direct benefit to me. So I said to her, I was like, look, you know, look after your health. Where else are we? RandomX. I don't know if she's going to be doing RandomX at the same time. It's going to depend on health, basically. Long story short. Lightning Network integration. This was really controversial when I put this up there, and it's really, really funny. I had people flame the shit out of me like you wouldn't believe. It was so funny. Oh, it was funny. I really don't know why. Because it's completely optional. If you don't like it, don't use it. So I've said here, my theory is, right, like, on-chain scaling will always be DigiByte's core, like the focus. But certain things don't need to be kept on-chain in perpetuity. Nobody really gives a shit about certain transactions. They don't need to happen on a blockchain. They could happen off-chain. And it does open up some other exciting avenues and things. Like, people have done messaging over the Lightning Network. Now, don't get me wrong, though, because I've also seen other things like the recent dramas around Bitcoin's Liquid network, which is a joke. It really is. I don't know why people thought ever that they would have their own kind of semi-independent, not Lightning network, but second layer where exchanges are just going to send back and forth between each other. How often do people actually send Bitcoin back and forth between, like, from one exchange to another? I don't know. I haven't traded shit in like 2 years now, maybe. I just buy my DigiByte when I can, so that's... Maybe I'm out of touch, like a grumpy old man shouting at the sky, like, get off the lawn! But Liquid had some pretty major problems that came out this week, and that was hilarious to see. Absolutely hilarious. But Lightning Network is completely optional. You don't have to use it. Why not? Why not have... And look, so here's the deal, right? At the moment, Bitcoin's got it, Litecoin's got it, Vertcoin's got it. DigiByte doesn't. So if you specifically want to use Lightning Network, I don't know why, but let's say hypothetically you do. Maybe you're like a Bitcoin maximalist and you only like Lightning Network. I don't know. You can't use that with DigiByte. But if there was somebody who was able to maintain that, or at least get it up and running, get it operational, get any changes for like DigiByte specific code committed back upstream to either like lit, LND, whatever. Cool. Now you don't have to use Bitcoin to get on the Lightning Network. Now you don't have to use Litecoin to get on the Lightning Network. You can just use DigiByte. So why bother using the other ones when you can get on there for cheaper and easier and faster with better security? Seems like a win-win to me. So don't get me wrong, aside from testing it, I'm probably never ever going to use the Lightning Network. Who cares? If we've got it, it's there. It's people can use it. It's optional. You know, like I think that's actually really cool. Hey, Script Skynet's made it. I hope you don't mind. I was picking on you and using you as like you and Laura Taylor as a bit of like an example earlier for some stuff. You can go back and watch it later. It was nothing bad, but it was good to see you here, man. And Michael says, tell us about Rosetta. I didn't read that out. I saw it before, but specifically because we're coming back to it now. So, Rosetta integration. Where are we? Here we go. Introducing Rosetta. Build once. Integrate your blockchain everywhere. That sounds really cool, doesn't it? One of the hardest parts right now for DigiByte is when people come to us and they say, is that a beer? No, it's not. It's ginger ale. It's completely non-alcoholic. Don't worry. But anyway, I've got to catch up with you later on, Rod. We'll go have a beer when we're done. The end of July or something. Maybe we'll do Macca's in the meantime. Some McDonald's. Everyone loves McDonald's. Build once, integrate everywhere. So when it comes to... If you have a look in the developers chat on Telegram, people jump in and they'll say, I want to build on DigiByte. And the short answer then becomes, what do you want to do? Like, what is it you want to build? Which is a fair question because there is no one-size-fits-all answer. If people want to build DigiAssets, that's one thing. If they want to build with DigiID, we'll direct them somewhere else. If they want to make a wallet, we'll push them over this way. If they want to store data on the blockchain, we'll push them over this way. Now, the idea with Rosetta is it's going to take away most of that. So it's going to make it really, really straightforward as kind of like an intermediary layer. So if we were to take like DigiByte Core at the bottom and you'd put Rosetta on top of it, and then you've got like your application finally. So let's say, for example, a multi-coin wallet. So you would have like, you could do Bitcoin on the bottom alongside of DigiByte, and then in between you'd have Rosetta, and then people would build their application on top like a sandwich. So your multi-coin wallet would then talk to Rosetta, which would then talk to both of the other blockchains. The idea being that makes it really, really easy. You have, and I mean, it's pretty well documented-ish for the fact that it's only just started, so that's pretty cool too. They say here, yeah, the number of blockchains has grown dramatically in recent years, and with it has come a proliferation of different node and wallet APIs that can be challenging to navigate. This is especially true when we have the likes of Monero, completely 100% different. When we have the likes of EOS, for example, or what are some other, I don't know what projects are out there at the moment. Most of the good ones are Bitcoin forks, let's be honest. Ethereum, I'm sure they'll have it for Ethereum. So the idea with Rosetta is it's going to make it really easy to build on top of. So if we go here, they've got their specifications and things. Oh wow, they have been... When did they last update? Where's the README? Last updated 6 days ago. They have been busy updating it. That's cool. I just closed. I was testing some stuff out. Damn. Let's go back to... Where is the Rosetta? Yeah, here we go. Rosetta Node API? Yes, here we go. Let me bring this over. Whoop. DigiByte Core, DigiByte Rosetta Node API. So we are implementing the Rosetta SDK in Node.js. And Yoshi, poor dude, has been waking up at 4 a.m. and messaging us at all kinds of ungodly hours. And he's been incredibly busy. So here we go. GTO and others added 30 commits 11 days ago. Yoshi added commits. GTO's... Yeah, here we go. Even in the last couple of days. So, I tested them 20 hours ago. That was yesterday. Ginger ale done. 136 tests. It's actually broken into two lots. So 136 was 100%. It tested and it all worked, which is really quite cool. Where to from here with this? That's a good question. I'm not actually entirely too sure. There's still a few more improvements that are needed here, but for the most part, this is pretty good to go. At the moment, the following unit tests have been ported to this implementation. Okay. So he's done a whole bunch. Yeah. Now I know the reason that a lot of people are excited about this is because, well, mostly because Coinbase, right? And Coinbase have come out and basically said, we're looking into DigiByte. We're excited by DigiByte. We want to potentially list DigiByte. And I think it would be great, much in the same way that being listed on Binance is also cool. It gives more people the ability to get their hands on it and to be able to buy and sell at their leisure. More options is good for people, and I'm a big proponent of that. Will this mean that they're going to then specifically add us? Probably not. It'll probably help a little bit if they can go, yeah, DigiByte, they're keen. Look at what they've already done. They've already gone and templated this so that other blockchains can now use this to make their Rosetta implementation. Yeah, that's awesome. Will it do much aside from that? Yeah, I don't know. But all of his tests so far build and they work, and we're making progress. So that's pretty cool. 22,000 lines of code. Yeah, poor Yoshi has literally been up. The number of times he sent me a message going, hey, it's like 4:30 over here. I've just woke up. And yeah, if you see him on Twitter or on Telegram, send him some love, because poor dude is probably pretty tired right about now. Pretty excited about that though. Now the interesting thing, so if we come further down here, the Rosetta integration actually tackles a lot of this. It's actually going to tackle most of that, because if we can, that's going to be the JavaScript SDK, and depending on how much we get, it will also be Kotlin, Swift, VS Code, IntelliJ. We need a developer landing site. We need a place where people can go, like, we need to call it like dev.digibyte.io, something like that, right? Where people can go and there's just like a wealth of knowledge about building on DigiByte, which we don't really have at the moment. And that's the thing, is if you want to learn how to develop things on top of Ethereum, if you're a coder and you're starting out, there is so much, and they make it really easy. And that's where we need to get to. So that's going to be probably one of the more bigger, like, it sounds boring as shit, helping developers. It really does sound boring. It sounds as boring as Schnorr signatures. Schnorr, funny. But let's be honest, that's where it needs to go. Because we need people to be able to build on top of DigiByte, to start creating applications and things, and give people a reason to want to hold DigiByte over and above just pure speculation, which we see a lot of. I mean, that's cool, but people need reasons to want it. One of the other things, though, so going back to, these are some of the more smaller action items here, and what I'm really excited about here is making DigiByte more newbie friendly. So when I did the recent video with my mother, I even put the link to it in there. I basically went back and rewatched it again at the end, and I was like, damn, there's some stuff that we could do that would make it so much easier. Because, so she's sitting there and she's got, what's the name of it? Easy Crypto up on the screen, and it says put in your address, and she's like, the fuck do I get that from? Like, what's an address? She's like, I'm not gonna. She starts typing in her home address. No, like, you know, that kind of. We need to make that way simpler. So here's a few things. So we'll cover them off, and I'll kind of explain them a little bit more. We're gonna first run wizard style walkthrough. So iOS has one where it'll give you, I think it's like 3 pages. What we want is to require a minimum of 5 seconds per screen, so that someone can't just go like skip, and jump over it. The reason for this is There was, I don't remember specifically where it was, but I think it might have been on the KYC or something. And something was on the screen, and my mom's just basically like, go, just get out of my way. I don't care. I just want to see like a screen where there's no skip button. Because logic and reasoning dictates that's where you need to get to. And anything else beforehand is just noise. Now, never mind the fact that we actually want to tell her important information, like, this is what your address is. Keep your passphrase safe and secure, you know, that kind of thing. If you lose your phone, it's going to be okay, that sort of stuff. We need to be able to tell them. And the whole kind of, like, you can send and receive. No one gives a shit. We know that we can send and receive. That's the whole point of it. It's not a case of, you have DigiByte and they're stuck there forever. Like, logically, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So we need some custom, tailor-made, like, intro screens that show people, like, this is what you want to do with your DigiByte. This is how you get your first address, for example. So, because at the moment, like, it's cool. If we go to... Let's bring it up. Open. Dun. Start testing. Damn, what's my pin? Oh, yeah, that's okay. Alright, so let's go just camera. Okay, so this is it, and it's syncing at the moment. Like, this is cool, because I know what this is doing. But how many other people are going to go, oh, what's it actually doing? Now, especially when you look at it and it goes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How high does it actually count? There we go. Like, why did it go back to 0? We need to be telling people a bit more. So up the top, we do say syncing. Like, we tell them it's syncing. That's cool. 12, 13, and then it's gone again. Like, what does that timer actually do? And if you're a new person, how are you going to know what it's doing? One of the questions that my mum asked as well is, what's the block height versus the wallet height and things like that. So that kind of, like, explaining that kind of thing as well. It needs to say, do not skip, this is the most important thing. Yeah, I agree, Script Skynet says it needs to say, do not skip. We just need to not have the skip button. Like, we've got the technology to make the button to skip it just not be there for 5 seconds. Like, that way they have no choice but to read it. That seems rational. Lee says, hi everyone, welcome mate. Michael also says, Rosetta as a standard sounds good. Yeah, I think it's really cool too. But yeah, so here we go back to don't allow people to skip the recovery phrase process. It's a bad idea and people will lose their crypto. This happened to a friend of mine. He had a couple $100 worth. He'd gone out, he'd bought it, and unfortunately, he didn't write down his recovery phrase, locked himself out of his phone, had to factory reset, and he says to me, he's like, how do I get it back? I'm like, you just put in your recovery phrase. He's like, oh, I skipped that. I mean, that's his bad, for sure. But it's also our bad. Like, why the fuck did we let him do that? What good reason is there for us to let him do that? None. So, things like that. Explain the difference between the pin versus the recovery phrase. Cool. And I've put a quick, like, example there. We need to tell people, like, your recovery phrase is the most important thing in the world. Don't lose it, that kind of thing. And really explain it. There's got to be a good way to, like, summarize that, right? If you've got ideas... Excuse me. If you've got ideas, put them in the chat. Like, what's a nice way that we could explain to somebody, like, you must keep your recovery phrase? I don't know. Suggest ways they can keep their recovery phrase safe. Oh, I've skipped. Okay, hang on. Allow users to enable Face ID, Touch ID, and Fingerprint Auth immediately after taking their 6-digit PIN. Now, this is actually really interesting because... How do I go back? There's no back button. Oh, this is stupid. Whatever. Swipe wallet. I was going to bring up swipe wallet. Yeah, fingerprint instead of recovery key. Well, you can use it for your PIN, but not for your recovery phrase. After they've entered their PIN, we need to prompt them and basically go, do you want to enter it? Do you want to be able to unlock this with your biometrics? Because with my mom, we went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth a bunch of times. And she's not going to go navigating through all of the settings menus and things to try and find the ability to turn on Touch ID or fingerprint. She's got a front-facing fingerprint thumbprint reader. she's not going to go through the settings. How many people actually have been through the settings and gone, oh, yeah, I can turn on Touch ID and unlock it that way, or Face ID and unlock it with my face? Why don't we give them that option as soon as they've entered their PIN for the second time to confirm it? We'll go, let's do something a little bit more convenient. Let's say if you haven't opened it. Because even the comment from her was, I've got to enter in a 6-digit PIN, not a 4-digit PIN. This is stupid. So, yeah, and fair enough too. Suggest ways they can keep their recovery phrase safe. This could potentially be one of the things that we do as part of the wizard, right? So when they're before we show the recovery phrase to them, we need to say, look, write this down or memorize it. I mean, like, I can't memorize 12 words. Jeepers, I struggle to remember my own phone number. We need to be able to do some suggestions, like email it to yourself, take a photo and store it in Dropbox, that kind of thing. And then tell people you've got to make sure that your other shit is secure as well, because if it's easy to reset your Gmail account and get in there and search for your recovery phrase, then that's stupid too. But we've got to give them some ideas, because if we didn't have one of those, have I still got it here actually? I might not have one. Nope. She used my last Alipal card. That's okay, I've only got GoPro things. If I didn't have that card from Alipal that allowed me to jot it down, I would have been running around going, where's some paper? What am I going to do? And that's not very clever. So we need ways that we can recommend that to people. Even if inside the app we have a share button that lets you send your recovery phrase to yourself in an email or something. I don't know. I'm aware that's not best security practice, but I'm aware in terms of onboarding new users and things, we've got a lot that we can do to make it easier. Recovery phrase confirmation screen on Android. Yeah, okay, that's accessibility stuff. Basically, Mum has the font dialed to 11, and so it was hard to see the bottom one. On the main transaction screen, when the user is first presented there, we need some sort of overlay. Yeah, so we need it to basically have a down arrow saying, tap on the plus button. Can I bring this up again? DigiByte wallet. Because if you're looking at this, you're going, right, I want DigiByte. I'm at an exchange right now, and I'm trying to buy some DigiByte. What do I do with this? I don't know. What are you going to do with this? So people might go, well, let's tap on the menu button there. Well, now we've got a security center, we've got DigiAssets, we've got settings, and we've got lock wallet. None of that's useful to them. And the thing is although a plus is nice and it aesthetically looks cool, it's not immediately obvious that this is a menu. And so you'd tap on that and then go, oh, okay, cool, now I can go receive. It's kind of, it's not in focus, but whatever. And the other thing that I hate as well is all of the different share options. So we've got that there. Why is the coin request stuff blurred out at the moment? I think it's because I haven't put an amount in, and you must put in an amount. Let's try 20 DigiByte. Yeah. And so now that I've got 20 down there, now coin requests are showing up. To be honest, I don't think we actually need coin requests in our wallet. If people want that, they could use a different one, but I think that the DigiByte Core wallet and the DigiByte mobile applications should remain independent and agnostic's not the word. Basically just independent. Michael says, ask your mum what she think would help. Yeah, a lot of this is actually taken directly from the video and parts where when you watch it critically at the end and you can see her sitting there going, well, cool, I've got the app. Now what do I do? How do I get my shit out of there? Right, the reason is because we haven't made it blindingly obvious this is where you go to get your receiving address. And even still, calling it a receiving address, that's still crypto terminology that most newbies aren't going to be aware of. So ideally we need to say, even if we rephrase them and just simply relabeling it, and saying, do you want to, having an overlay, I think I wrote, where are we? Want to get an address to give to someone so you can get your first DigiByte, and a big arrow down the bottom pointing to the plus. Something like that. So Crypto Talk podcast says it would be dope to have a BitK type of Visa for DigiByte. Yeah, there's actually a couple of them. What was that one that just... I mentioned it 30 seconds ago and I can't remember the name for the life of me. Swipe. I've had some people in the US and UK basically say that it works. It doesn't work here in New Zealand, but whatever. Let's quickly skim back. Lee also says we can create a DigiAsset recovery key for the wallet. No, that was script sign. Lee said, how about the phone sends the phrase to a repository and link it with a fingerprint? Yeah, something like that. You know, like even if it's... I suppose the idea with the recovery key is it's got to be independent so that you can restore it on a new phone. I mean, do you want to just like SSL encrypt it with a PIN? Maybe, but you could probably brute force that in no time at all. An FAQ section in the menu. That's actually not a bad idea. I think we originally... Apple wanted us to link to like a Zendesk help desk or whatever, and we didn't have it. We tried to link them to Telegram, and they got all pissy about it. This is way back before it was officially authorized. So we spun up a 30-day trial of Zendesk, and... that was where it linked to originally, and then we later on changed the link back to Telegram after they approved it. So, yeah. Mining on CPU app out. Not at the moment. Would be interesting to also see RandomX come for mobile. Like, can you imagine at night you go and you take your phone, you put it down beside you in bed, plug it into the charger, it's on Wi-Fi, everybody's happy, and you go... let's mine me some DigiByte. And sure, maybe it takes you a month to mine $1 worth of DigiByte, but it's $1 worth of DigiByte you've just got for free. Like, I mean, not free because it consumes power, but you get what I mean? Like, how cool would that be? I think that would be really awesome. Abra makes you retype the key back. Yeah, same thing with DigiByte. You've got to do 2 of them, but you can hit the skip button, so we've got to remove that skip button. Where are we? On the main transaction screen. We've said that already. Our share options are rather convoluted. Yeah, I just don't like them. We need to streamline them. You need a share button, and it just for the most part, it should be sharing the address. Like if you're trying to share a QR, there's no reason for you to share a QR code unless you're in person. Let's look at it this way. How many of you at the moment are watching on mobile? If I send you a QR code, what are you going to do with it? So if you've got YouTube up and it's on your phone right now and you're watching on your cell phone and someone sends you a QR code, how useless is that? You can't do anything with it. So QR code sharing, I think we need to just get rid of entirely. It's pointless. You should only have it, like, so let me bring up the app again. I should just leave this damn thing unlocked. Okay, so if I go receive, it's cool that we've got a QR code there, but that's the only place that it needs to be. We don't need to have a QR code that you can then hit the share button and share the image. The QR code is for if you're in person, and I think that's something that we've lost sight of over the time, I suppose, since having the app. If you are remote, you're going to copy and paste the address every single time. You can't copy and paste an image, so it makes no sense whatsoever having that. We need to just completely trim it down, and in fact, it's better on Android. Let me bring up Android, just because. I'm going to show you. It's convoluted as shit. Okay, so if I go receive. Alright. So I can go share. Now, I appreciate that we've got 4 different options here. Can anybody tell me what all those 4 different options mean off the top of your head right now? We've got we've got a share, we've got a phone, we've got a copy. I'm guessing, okay, copy to clipboard. That one was kind of obvious. We've got coin requests. The only reason I know what that is because they emailed me and I've seen their robot logo before. If I tap on the phone, it's going to give me some options of places to share it. But if I tap on the other share, it's giving me a different share option. So I've got share, and I've got the phone, and I'm like, I don't know. But then it gets really cool, because you can at least tap on that and like zoom it in. Right? Now that's the only option that you should have for sharing a QR code. Tap on it, zoom in. You never need to share it. We don't need to have anything else. And I think that's cool. So yeah, we definitely need to like trim some of those back as far as I'm concerned. If anybody has any contrary opinion about that, You're wrong. No, I'm kidding. But I'd love to know if you do have any contrary opinion. If you have reasons why you think it should stay, leave us a message. Tell us. I think it would be cool to hear somebody else playing devil's advocate. And same for, I'm not convinced we should have the USD GBP value displayed, especially by default. So in my instance, my mom's device locale was English UK, and so it was showing it in Great British Pounds. In New Zealand, we don't use the pound. Shit, I don't know if we ever have. We use New Zealand dollars over here, Kiwi monies. I think over time, especially, it's going to become a lot more relevant as we move away from crypto being defined in fiat, but rather eventually fiat will be defined in like a Bitcoin value, that kind of thing. And so I think it's not going to matter as much over time what it is worth in your wallet when you're not checking it for speculative purposes, I think is more the main kind of thing that I'm getting at there. Thanks, Jerry, for the super chat there. Will Digi be doing staking DeFi thing in the future? So DeFi is actually something really cool. Now, Noah is a big DeFi buff. He's big on it. He loves it. And I highly recommend you tune into him if you have not already. Some really cool stuff there. Will we be doing staking? I'm still not convinced. Now, I actually contacted some people. When was this? This was 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And I basically said, I want like some kind of conclusive evidence that if we implement staking, it's going to make DigiByte a security in the United States. And then there's even more reason why we shouldn't do it. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't get that like cold hard evidence. And it doesn't look like staking would make you a security. I'm not convinced. I don't think we need it. Like, I can understand the appeal, and I like the idea that you would get something for nothing. I get it. But you already, by comparison, have a finite fixed supply asset where, sure, there is inflation at the moment, but by the time that 21 years has passed, in the year 2035, there will be no more. And that's it. It's done. Dusted. No more will ever be created. If you happen to burn some or lose them and the private key in an unfortunate boating accident, they're gone. And that's it. They're gone forever. So it will be a reducing supply over time as people lose their private keys and that sort of shit. That in and of itself is already better than traditional fiat, where you have quantitative easing and inflation or hyperinflation and things like that. So, yeah, I'm not sold on the idea of staking. I know there are some people, I know a lot of people are really keen on it, and they're keen on the idea of taking, like, let's say 100,000 DigiByte. Let's spitball this for a little bit. Let's talk about this. Jerry says he's not either, but with DigiByte he would reconsider. Okay, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I am actually against it. Let's not beat around the bush here. Can we do some math? Digistats. Danny says I support no staking. Cool. So I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't care if it's me against the world. Fuck it. Okay. Boop. This is our current circulating supply. So let's go. No. Can we? Actually, I probably want a calculator. Okay, let's try and work this out. 21 billion minus, can I copy and paste that whole thing? Oh, I can, yes! Okay, so at the moment there is currently 7, let's put the commas in here because when I copied it didn't. Okay. Remaining total already mined. Now this is some real, actually, you know what I should do just to be really helpful? We have this technology. I'm just going to go 48. Boom. Okay, that's probably a little bit easier. If you're on mobile, like Scripts kind of, you can probably see that now. Make it even bigger. Huge. Okay. It's alright. We're like super technical, like whiteboard level shit here. Okay. I don't believe that was ginger ale. That's okay. DigiByte or just nibble. It was. I've tried tonic water as well. No alcohol tonic water. Like strong aftertaste, but no alcohol. So yay. Where are we? I don't like staking, but don't want it for DigiByte. Oh, sorry. No, G-Torres says I like staking, but don't want it for DigiByte. I look at DigiByte more as money and the less inflation, the better. Well, we're mining it anyway, which is an interesting thing. We're mining it regardless. It's just how we are mining it and how we're getting it into people's hands. So, let's go back to this. Okay, so right now we've got this much remaining. So if we divide this between, let's say we take one entire algorithm and we replace it with staking, just for shits and giggles, okay? So now we're going to divide this by 5. Okay, so, oh yeah, there we go. So 1/5 for staking. Cool, so at the moment, that's going to put us at 1 point, this is if we did it tomorrow, there would be 1.5 billion DigiByte left for staking. How much is that? Let's bring up CoinGecko, because everybody loves CoinGecko. Let's just to give people like a bit of an idea here. Where did that DigiByte go? Oh, actually, or the wallet. No, the calculator. There we go. Currently 31 million worth of DigiByte left to be mined, which would be mined through staking if we did like hypothetically 1/5, which isn't bad in the grand scheme of things. Now let's also do a little bit more working out here. What's a fair amount to presume that everybody's going to be staking? Maybe like how much do people stake percentage-wise of other coins? Is there anybody in the live chat? I'm aware this is a couple seconds delayed. Let's say if we were to take something like Ren, how much Ren is actually staked versus in circulation? Do we want to go with like 50%? Is that 20%? Let's work this out. So total DigiByte for staking. What are we at? 1%. Surely there's more than 1% staking. Let's take this. Let's say 20%. What's 20% of the... no, the 20% is 1/5. Okay. Maybe use A on ICX. Ren is a bad example. It's brand new. So 5%? You reckon 5% of people are going to stake? That's not a lot. Especially if we look at Bittrex are sitting on 2 billion DigiByte. Let's go with 20%, just for fun. Let's say 20% are currently staking. Brandon says 20 to 30. Do we want to use 20? 25? 30? Well, I've got the number in front of me for this, so we'll play this out, alright? Let's say that we use 20% for staking. Where am I going with this? Oh yeah, okay. So let's then say that you've got yourself 100,000 DigiByte, and 20% of all DigiByte currently mined is staked. So we want to take this. We're going to divide you by 5 to give us 2.6 billion. That's not that much. That means that Bittrex stakes and basically nobody else does. Okay, so let's work this out. So, staked. So let's say that 2.6 billion is staked. That's not too bad. Now let's say you've got your share, 100,000 DigiByte. And now because I'm really bad at math, we're just going to go use percentage calculator because I'm lazy as hell. Okay. So percentage calculator, you staked this much. Oh, don't tell me I've got to get rid of those. Okay, so let's say hypothetically you have you've got 100,000 DigiByte, which is pretty respectable. And you are staking 0.003% of 2.6 billion, which is basically Bittrex staking and not many other people. Because Bittrex are sitting on 2 billion. Let's go to chains and let's see what they are staking. Sorry, let's see what Bittrex have in their wallets overall. So according to Chains Block Explorer, they reckon that Bittrex currently has 2.4 billion. That's not a lot. Out of the 2.6 left. Okay. La 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 la. Staking would be free money, G-Torres says. Yeah, sort of. You're still going to have to run a full node. It's still going to require electricity, which is going to be cool, because don't get me wrong, like, so this is going to mean that more people would run a full node, that keep it online. How many people would actually just like go out and buy a Raspberry Pi and then like a 5 terabyte external hard drive? I don't know. Yeah, that would be an interesting one, especially with our 15-second blocks. Long term, I don't know if like a Raspberry Pi would even scale, given the amount of transactions it would have to verify. It would just fall behind, really. So you'd have to have yourself something like an Intel NUC. I actually went out and bought one of those recently. I'm gonna grab it. Quite proud of it. The bottom came off. So you would have yourself a little something like this sucker, which is, I could take that out, similar to a Raspberry Pi. So that's basically what you'd be mining off something like that. I mean, it's cool. It's compact. I can fit it in the palm of my hand. But it costs more. So there is definitely a cost. There is definitely a cost. Michael says mining gives crypto its value. That's true, because otherwise, if it was cheaper for you to just go and mine it, you wouldn't go out and buy it, would you? So he's got a really good point there. Anyway, so you are earning 0.037 now. So let's go. Let's take this. This is 1/5 of all staking. So let's say you took your 100,000 and let's say you staked and there was only ever 2.6 billion and you got percentage. Calculate. What does that come to? Total. You'd get an extra. So over the next, what are we 2020 at the moment? So over the next 15 years, hypothetically, let's get rid of the decimal point because that's confusing as fuck. Over the next 15 years, if you staked as of tomorrow, and there was only ever 2.6 billion in total that was staked, which is basically Bittrex and then nobody else, you had 100,000 DigiByte. You would get 57% over the next 15 years, which isn't actually a terrible rate of return. But in the grand scheme of things, if you want free money, you're probably better off going and getting like Ren or some of those other projects. And in terms of the actual security that's going to offer DigiByte, I don't know. If we take that 2.6 and we say like, where was Chains? Where did Chains go? I closed it, didn't I? Fuck. Okay. Let's work out how much Bittrex would get instead with their DigiByte, just because. If Bittrex were doing the staking, now I don't know if they'd distribute that to the peoples or not, but they'd get 90%. Do you really want to give it, like, don't get me wrong, like, I love Bittrex. They're freaking cool, and they've loved DigiByte ever since back in 2014. The tech team there is really cool. They're a solid exchange. A lot of respect for them. They gave us one of the earlier, I think they were actually kind of like second major exchange behind Poloniex to give DigiByte a USD tether and a USD on-ramp. But they would get 91% based on those rough as guts figures. Do we really want to do that? Mr. Codden says, I would just stick with mining. The Ghost says, agreed, Michael. If it was easy to mine, it would be worth less. Yeah. If gold was easy to mine, gold would be worth less. I like that. I like that a lot. G-Tor, is any news on when Coinbase... We don't... I've sent them off like some details and things. So the funny thing is we used to talk about this all the time back with Binance, right? It's so funny because we've literally in the space of like a week, we've gone from win Binance to win Coinbase in like a week. Now, the funny thing is this happened. The Binance announcement came after Coinbase. And Coinbase, we sent them off some details again, like some details on the blockchain, and they've got questionnaires and stuff like that. Binance, though, like I've said all along, they didn't actually need any help from anybody DigiByte related whatsoever. I've said all along, they have talented engineers, and the effort to implement DigiByte really small if you've already done it for Bitcoin, because the RPC calls are practically identical. You generate some slightly different the wallets are stored slightly differently, basically, slightly, but the RPC call is practically identical. Well, they are identical as of 0.17, with the exception that when you ask for the mining difficulty, we give you 5 different difficulties back instead of just 1, but otherwise it's practically identical. So, Danny, DigiByte deserves the formal presentation. What kind of presentation? Are you meaning like to Coinbase? Let's quickly skim back. Proof of work is king. Yeah, I agree. Exchanges should not be able to stake. Well, so that's an interesting one, right? And this is something that I was actually talking with Jared about. How do you stop somebody from, like, for example, Bittrex from staking? You can't. If we were to say, well, 2.4 billion DigiByte is too much, you can't stake that much, the most that you can stake is going to be, I don't know, 100 million DigiByte. Okay. Cool. Who have we actually left out when it comes to that 100 million? Not a lot. Not a lot. Let's actually go, where's the rich list for DigiByte? How many people are on the rich list? It's not going to show me. Okay, well, here's the. Oh, I don't have it on my. Let's go back to that view. Whoop. Here's the current rich list. So in terms of wallets that 100 million DigiByte would stop from staking, you're only stopping 9 people. You'd stop 9 people from staking DigiByte. 9 wallets. That's just it, because they can split it. So you can see this is the Poloniex one. This is also another Poloniex one. It's still owned by Poloniex themselves, but they've just got multiple wallets, or addresses specifically. Well, let's go down and we'll set the cap at like 10 million. We've now stopped 72 people from, like, because, you know, all of a sudden this person would be okay. They'd be able to stake. So I don't know. That's an interesting one. Do we then set it at 1 million? Well, then if you set it at 1 million DigiByte, is it going to be functionally worth you going out and renting a virtual private server of some description, or going out and buying the hardware that you need to run a full node yourself so that you can stake it on something rather than running a full desktop computer, like, because your ROIs and things like that then start going all up the creek in terms of it's still going to be power for your computer, you're still going to have the hard drive space because you got to run a full node. You want to, yeah, like, I don't know. Glenn says 200,000. Well, I don't know how many people have 200,000. Like, I mean, that's a low cap as well. It would do wonders for the number of people, but the thing is even at 200,000, I don't know if it's going to be worthwhile for people to then go out and spend money on buying a VPS or a server or putting it in a data center and that kind of thing. And that's the thing, is it is a genuine unknown. So, yeah. Where do you find that chart? Well, I'll pop it in the chat. There you go. Fernie has a great point. Thinking aloud, stake DigiAssets. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And in fact, this is one of the really cool things that Matthew Cornelius has done. You can meet him in the mining or developers channel. Go into the mining channel in Telegram. He has gone out and bought some mining hardware, and you can buy and basically contribute to that with a DigiAsset. And so every month, based on the amount that gets mined, he splits it off and gives it all to everybody. So you can mine with a DigiAsset, which kind of gives you that same sort of return, which is really, really cool. Really cool. I think that's fantastic. And like, don't get me wrong, he and I butt heads all the time. Like, we really do. He's a pain in the ass sometimes, and he, without a doubt, thinks that I am exactly the same. So, but I have a lot of respect for the stuff that he has done, and that's like making this mining DigiAsset, which pays out people, super cool. Hats off to him. So, you've probably said, but how much DigiByte do you own? Not a lot. Unfortunately, I had to sell it. I needed an extra, what was it, like $2,000 to $3,000 for my house deposit. So I've slowly been buying back like $100 a week sort of thing for the last 6 months now. So, yeah, do some quick mental math. There you go. The Ghost says, I have Matt's DigiAsset. I get paid weekly. Oh, weekly. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Staking providers will take the fees for providing the service. Yeah, I mean, so staking is really interesting. Is it right for DigiByte? I don't know. Probably not, as far as I'm concerned. I like that other people disagree with me, though, when they say that it is. And I like that we can have this kind of... is discourse the right word? A discussion and a debate and talk about it. And do some really, really shitty back-of-the-napkin... Oh, I've closed it. Damn it, I closed it. Back-of-the-napkin kind of math. And work out that over the next 15 years, if you staked 100,000 DigiByte, you'd get 50 cents. So what's that if you divide that like per year? Where's my calculator? Here we go. You get 3,800 DigiByte back a year. So if you put in $2,000, you'd get back $76 a year. Is that really worth doing staking for? I can't make the math work. 30, not really worth it now you've done the math. Shit, you type quickly. Either that or you knew what I was gonna ask. I just can't make it work in my head. I really can't. I would love for it to. Yeah, Script Skynet, long staking talk. This was supposed to be about what we've been looking at, though, so I think this is kind of cool. I think this is cool that we can have this kind of a chat and talk about it. There are definitely still people that like the idea of staking, and Glenn said it's only good for a price pump. Maybe it is. It's also good for other people that are staking and they're getting the rewards. In the right circumstances with multi-algo like DigiByte is, I feel like it has the potential to be incredibly powerful as well. So this is probably how I'm best going to, how I think we should wrap this up. Do I think we should stake? No, not at present. Should we in the future? Quite possibly. Especially as we draw closer to the year 2035 and all the DigiByte are almost being mined. It could be a really interesting way to differentiate between the proof of work and add security at that later stage. But certainly at the moment, I get the feeling like we're going to get better returns by just simply going with... so we'd have a... let's look at it this way. We've got 5 mining algorithms, okay? So if we were to do... we're getting rid of SHA-256 actually, so we're going to do script, where we're a non-dominant ASIC algorithm. Let's do qubit, which is going to be, or we'll keep Skeen, which is going to be a dominant ASIC algorithm. We've got autocrypt for FPGAs, we've got ProgPoW for GPUs, and then RandomX for CPU mining. We're pretty well covered at that point. And the best part about that is as well as going to be the distribution and getting that out to more people. So part of mining is not just going through the fact that we're burning through the circulating supply, the total supply and bringing it into circulation, but actually getting it into circulation is what proof of work's really good at. Because if I've got an ASIC and I burn through $100 worth of power a month, I probably can't absorb that cost myself. Or maybe I can, but maybe I'm only a small miner and I've got one ASIC. If I'm a large miner and I've got 100 ASICs, I could potentially absorb the power cost for 10 of them, but not 100 of them. So I've got to take the returns from 90 of those, 90% of it, and literally just sell it on the open market for whatever it's worth at the time, which gives normal people like you and me who are not miners, because I'm not a miner anymore, to be able to go out and buy it and get it at the market price, which is the fairest way of getting that into the hands of as many people as possible, potentially with the exception of GPU and CPU mining. You know, so there's that balancing act, and I feel like with DigiByte, if we do an ASIC non-dominant, an ASIC dominant, FPGA, GPU, and CPU mining, we've got it covered, and that's the best way to get into the hands of people. Let's quickly go back. Lee Davidson, 500,000 gives you $5,000 for every penny? I don't understand. Thoughts on locking DigiByte for X blocks before staking can begin? That's a really good point, Brandon, sorry. That's something that I thought of myself. The idea that you have to lock your DigiByte away before you can stake. Now, here's the really interesting thing is, as well, is the whole idea of... So there's already been Bitcoin-based... I need a drink, sorry. There's already been a Bitcoin-based stablecoin, and what you had to do was burn your Bitcoin in order to get the stablecoin. That's a terrible idea because Bitcoin is finite. You need the ability to basically unlock it. So you need to effectively lock it up and keep your Bitcoin, or specifically DigiByte in this instance. If we're talking about a decentralized stablecoin, you need to be able to lock your DigiByte up to make that stablecoin. Now, I've spent hours and hours talking on the phone with Jared about this. In fact, the last time was probably like 2 weeks ago. We had a great chat about doing a decentralized stablecoin. And so this is probably a good way to kind of wrap the live stream up, because we've been going for an hour and 26 minutes. Fuck. If, let's say, for example, you could get yourself a decentralized stablecoin on top of Bitcoin, but every time you did it, like if you want a 10,000 USD tether and you had to burn one Bitcoin, why would you do that? That's a bad idea. Same for DigiByte. If you could, let's say you'd get yourself, let's go 10,000 DigiByte. And so if you were to burn 10,000 DigiByte and get $200 worth of USD stablecoin on DigiByte, USD or DUSD, whatever, would you burn it? Because I sure as shit wouldn't. Because sure, that stablecoin is going to be valuable in the short term, but in the longer term, having a finite supply asset is going to be way better for you. So, like you basically say, you need the ability to, kind of going back to what Brandon said, thoughts on locking DigiByte before staking can begin. You need to basically be able to lock your DigiByte away as part of this stablecoin and then unlock them when you return your stablecoin. And so the interesting thing is we have DigiAssets on top of DigiByte already, which could be used as part of this and kind of tying it in both from the second layer into the core protocol to make that. Would that be potentially pigeonholing DigiByte as more kind of that one-trick pony? I don't know. Maybe. Let's go back to just camera because we don't care about that anymore. We could... Maybe. It might be. I'm not sold on the idea, but I'm curious about how it would work out, and Jared has previously said that he wants to work on a paper to present to the community, to get people on board and find out more about, you know, are you keen? Do you like the idea? Any changes to the core protocol would require consensus, so yeah. But back to Brandon's thought on locking DigiByte for X blocks before staking can begin. Yeah, but the problem is we churn through blocks like nobody's business, 5,760 of them a day. So if you say you've got to lock your DigiByte for 10,000 blocks, that's 2 days. And what are we really hoping to accomplish with that was kind of the interesting thing as well, because I've thought about that exact thing, and it's a great question. Walter, can DigiByte staking be adjusted for higher returns? Yeah, you'd stake more, or you'd make it so that with staking you get 50% of the rewards instead of 20%. But then you're taking away from proof of work, which is our core security, which is bad. So, how about no? Mr. Cotton, how about a payment at the end of the mining DigiByte, like a transaction? I'm not too sure I follow. I mean, we've got the DigiAsset that Matthew's created, which is cool. Always wondered how property could be added on contract PDF attached and coded. Yeah, so what you would have that's basically what Vesti was going to be. Now, unfortunately, I don't know where it's at, but Vesti themselves would basically, you'd store that kind of like contract on a decentralized platform, a decentralized backup method of some sort. Like we could tie in with like SIA or StoreJ, something like that, IPFS, and have those contracts stored there. And removing around the hash of that contract as part of the DigiAsset and things. So I think that's basically how that works. Strip Skynet staking is a great idea if all the DigiByte was mined and the businesses that own DigiByte would be handed out as an incentive for customers to stake. Yeah, well, if it's all mined, then we're not getting newly supplied, but they're then getting the transaction fees. And they're already running a full node, so it's basically helping to subsidize their... Well, I mean, you'd presume they're running a full node. They could use something like now nodes. But if you're a big business and you wanted to verify and validate a lot of transactions, like let's say Bittrex, Coinbase, that kind of thing, and you're running your own node, or maybe Amazon run a full node because they're doing a whole lot of DigiByte transactions, staking would help subsidize that. And your own transactions would then be free because they wouldn't have to pay transaction fees when they mine them themselves, that kind of thing. So there's cool stuff like that. Lee, for every penny it goes... Yeah, that's true. For every penny it goes up. Mr. Cardin, I have 8 L3s and it's way too expensive for your power. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. You've got 8 of them. Let's go to what to mine. What's the L3? Is that SHA-256 or script? Calculate. Dun 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 dun. L3. It must be L3. Right, so how much does an L3 cost in terms of... Well, an L3++, let's work that out. Your daily profit, you're going to be down $1. Fuck, that sucks. Oh, so this is already based off of it. No, it's not. Calculate. Calculate. Okay, so if you've got 8 of them, you're going through $16 a day. Let's just work this out. This is why proof of work's cool. So 2.52 times 8 times, let's say, 365 days in a year. $7 grand a year worth of cost on top of the fact that you've already bought a shitload of mining equipment. $7 grand a year. And so this is where proof of work's cool because you're not going to be able to afford to keep them. I mean, it sucks if you are mining because you can't afford to keep everything. I know because I mined and I sold on the way down price-wise after the great big 2017 pump. It was terrible. That sucked. I lost a buttload of money. Yay. So you are effectively distributing $7,000 worth over the course of a year with your miners to the hands of other people as you sell potentially most of it to recoup some of your power costs. And so that's the fairest way to distribute proof of work coins. And so that's where it's really quite cool. We've been going for just on an hour and a half. We should probably wrap this up. Jerry says, thanks for the live chat. Already a strong proponent, even more so now. That's super cool, man. I fucking love it. I love hearing that sort of thing. I love doing these kind of things. Even though we've gone through and kind of shit all over proof of stake for a little bit, I still like the idea that there are people out there who are keen on it. And I understand your reasons, and I respect that. And I like that we can have like a polite disagreement. I like that there are people out there who want it, and I respect that you respect that I don't. So yeah, that's cool. Staking. Who knows? Who knows? But for the time being, it doesn't look like it's going to be happening if we go all the way back to the pipeline. Next in line, so for 8.19, we're more likely to merge Schnorr signatures and implement ProgPoW, maybe RandomX as well. Maybe. Given that me and a handful of other people are the ones who've previously, like for 7.17, gone around and contacted all the exchanges and the wallets and stuff like that and said, please update! I like the idea of doing 2 algorithms in one hit because it's a shit ton of work to contact. Actually, let's bring the wiki up really quickly and just show people. When we do an upgrade, we have to contact all of these people. So when a protocol level upgrade happens, these are just mining pools for DigiByte. How freaking cool is that? It's a lot of mining pools. Now let's have a look at wallets. That's a lot of wallets. And in fact, what we can even do is go to digibytewallets.com. I love this website. I think it's a really, really cool website. DigiByteWallets.com. Look at these wallets. So we've got our core wallet, we've got Android and iOS. Now we've got, okay, Coinomi, Exodus, Atomic. Let's count them. Okay, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. So we're at 40 wallets. We're at 40 wallets. Someone's got to contact them all and make sure that they all upgrade. Exchanges. Hey, we've hit the 100 exchange mark again because we lost like a dozen and a half when we did the 7.17 upgrade. 100 exchanges all need to not only be contacted, but made sure they're aware of it, when it's happening, that they've got the upgrade in place, that they're ready, that it's tested, all of that. So this is why I like the idea, going back to this, of both ProgPoW and RandomX, both happening in the same core upgrade, on a personal level. When Swipe Foolish implementing DigiByte do a demo, I can't. It doesn't let me because it's not supported in my country. Or at least the card wasn't, I think. The Swipe Wallet might be. Thank you for the live chat. Appreciate everybody who's coming here. Consider leaving a like, subscribe, hit the share button. Thanks to everybody who has mentioned or at least joined into the chat. It's really cool. I love it. I love hanging out. We should do this more often. Maybe again, like not an hour and 35 minutes worth, but what I want to do a bit more of is some of those more catch-up chats and things. You know, like we had a couple people on. We did some. What was it? It was a Zoom chat. Okay, let me know in the chat. If we did like a free-for-all Zoom chat, would you join? Would you join and say hi? Even if it was just for like a minute or two. Would you participate? Would you be up for something like that? Because we've previously done that video, the We Are DigiByte. That was one of the ones that Amon tried to take down. Yeah, that sucked having the channel locked out for weeks. Let's not do that again in a hurry. But would you join? Would you do like a We Are DigiByte like live stream and just join and just say hi and meet people? Video optional, of course. I think that could be cool. Maybe we should try and plan for that. Yeah. Anyway, this has been great. Thank you, everybody. Again, appreciate the super chat from before, too. So thanks for that. Hit the like button as well, because that is really great. It actually does help YouTube's great algorithms and things. And again, I know that I've got people out there, my mom included, and she basically says that she just goes along, she hits like on all of my videos. So thanks for that as well. We've got a bunch of people. I'm down with join. Sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Stay safe out there. It's a wild world in 2020, and we're only halfway through it. Ugh. Especially all my American friends. You've got the 4th of July celebrations. Do be safe out there this weekend, especially given what's going on. Look after yourselves. Look after your family. Same for, like I said before as well, about Christy Lee. Look after your health. Stay safe. We'll talk to you in the next video. Cheers.